All right, yeah. Opie, let's move on, I suppose. Opie is reunited with the infamous Buzzy. I remember hearing stories of his days at Geneseo hanging with Buzzy. And boy, is Buzzy a dreadful bore. Anthony Cumia, I don't know if he was trolling or what happened. Anthony Cumia tweeted out that this was a very good episode. He goes, I got to give the Opster props. This was a good episode with his old friend Buzzy. He was actually prepared. And I checked out the episode, and I tend to disagree with Count Cumia. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's see what this is. This is Opie at his best, according to Anthony Cumia. So we're getting the best version of Opie here. Let's hear what he had to offer down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep, live from Atlanta.
I'm doing my theme music.
Okay,
you gotta help me.
I don't know what the song is, though.
Sounds really good.
Wendy does that too. It's the only other person I know online that does that. Just sits there, do.
Just make up beats.
Oh, okay.
Yo, I make up beats for the kids. What's up, everyone? Good morning and welcome to my little live stream.
Casey, every time I come in here, Casey, you're playing some sort of rap music. Would this fit into that genre? Are these dope beats that Opie's dropping?
I did not hear anything associated with a drum. It was doops to doops. Those aren't drums.
It's literally the work of a retarded person. Like, he just starts his show going do.
America. Retarded people can get rich here. It's amazing, Mike.
No, we're not 500 feet above the streets of New York City. No. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. Home of the what, Buzz? Home of the what?
Home of the Braves.
Home of the Braves.
Home of the boring.
Right? Yeah, but you got like
This is and Opie does this with the guys at Gepard's too. Do my work for me.
Yeah.
I've prepared nothing to say. Let's put you on the spot. Home of the what, Buzz? Home of the what? I don't fucking know. I don't know where you're planning on going with this stupid intro. Home of the what? Home of Atlanta citizens. What do you want from me here?
Buzzy's going to have to do a lot of work.
I was about to say Buzzy's not a broadcaster. He might be.
Yeah,
because Geneseo was a broadcasting school. No, I'm legitimately. I'm not. I don't know if he's in the field or not, but he may work in TV or something. I'm not sure.
I think TV is what he worked, and Opie lets us know that they were different than their college friends.
Oh wait, well, I mean, so different, man. They were really cool.
Yeah.
Home of the Buzzy family.
home of the homos.
Thanks, great.
Hey,
awesome.
man,
What?
Trump is president now. We can bring all that.
Hold on. Go back.
That's like culture shock after watching Jim and
Just out of nowhere, a ham-fisted homos. Hey, Buzzy, what is this? Home of the homos? Nice.
Home of
This
the
guy really
homos.
slammed Atlanta.
Thanks, great.
Hey,
awesome.
man, Trump is president now. We can bring all that stuff back.
What does that mean?
we can say homos now,
I can call Atlanta gay because Trump is president now. Opie, you know what? I think if you did that 2 years ago, you would have been fine still. I don't think anyone's coming after your YouTube channel. You're probably all right.
Time to talk about family, Mike.
Oh, yeah, this was a little weird. Well, Opie will explain, and I have my thoughts.
But I'm down here for my sister's kid's wedding.
Whoever it is.
Did I say that right?
With Nephew and Nephew.
My nephew. Thank you, Buzzy. That's why I need you
freeloader.
here today.
Opie's acting like that's some strange, where it's like my aunt's half brother's cousin's wife. Like it's some bizarre relationship. He's like, man, did I even say this right? My sister's child? It's not. It's a pretty close relation. That's not that absurd. Man, what am I even doing here? Who knows their sister's kid? Who even is related to that person?
And he's a brain surgeon, but he's not. You would think a brain surgeon would go, oh, maybe I shouldn't get married the day before Easter.
Nah.
So I'm actually down here by myself
The
representing
brain surgeon
my
doesn't
family.
give
My
a
wife's
fuck that it's Easter.
Brain surgeon's smart. Most women want to get married in college football season. Brain surgeon is a football guy.
Easter is such a forgettable holiday.
The most forgettable.
Who gives a fuck? Even so I have to go to my my lady's side of the family after this, and they're not religious. And I was like, oh, that's weird that they're not. I should say they're not Catholic or Christian at all. But I said, that's weird that they're doing something for Easter. And she goes, I think they forgot it was Easter and just wanted to get together. So, like,
I literally forgot it was Easter.
yeah, this is not that big a deal, Opie.
Egg-based holidays don't get the credit and recognition they deserve, Mike.
But I think he goes on to explain a little more, which is very interesting about this family dynamic he has.
Back in New York, getting the whole Easter.
Oh, sorry. Go back.
together.
We paused it in a weird spot. Go back a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. I'll back it up here.
And wouldn't that be a nephew?
My nephew. Thank you, Buzzy. That's why I need you here today. And he's a brain surgeon, but he's not. You would think a brain surgeon would go, oh, maybe I shouldn't get married the day before Easter.
Got him.
So I'm actually down here by myself representing my family. My wife's back in New York, getting the whole Easter thing together. I roll in all nice, really tired Sunday morning.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yes.
He's going to his nephew's wedding. Why wouldn't the wife go with him?
Yeah, you
She's
can't
staying-
travel on Easter? What's
She
She's
needed time
staying-
away.
She's staying home for Easter?
It was
I think
a
that was an
deal breaker.
excuse.
Yeah,
That
need some
doesn't
free
make
time.
any sense.
Mhm.
Like, I can't imagine if I said to my girlfriend, or let's live in a world where we're married and that we have kids. I can't imagine saying, hey, this very close relative, nephew is a pretty close relation. I don't know how well they know. Maybe they don't know each other at all. But like, I have a nephew getting married on Saturday. We're all going, right? No. It's Easter. So we're going to stay and prepare for Easter. And you can rush back late Saturday night. Why go to this?
The pool.
Send a gift or something.
Yeah, they needed some time away from each other, Mike. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, a lot of people speculate. I don't know what Opie's personal life is like. That sounds like a guy. Put it this way. It reminds me a lot of a podcaster who was like, we haven't been swinging and doing drugs. April's right upstairs in our marital
Yes.
home. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It feels a little like, oh, I'm going to represent my family. It's your nephew's wedding. Your family is represented.
Yes.
The parents are going to be there, you jackass. Why did he? Oh, I hope Opie's here to represent the Hughes family.
I like in your scenario with your children, Mike. Can I suggest Casey as a name? It's a unisex name, good for both guy and girl. Maybe throwing that out there.
Yeah, and when's that scenario going to happen?
I'll keep it.
My-
Oh,
Mind your business.
I mean, you are getting up there, Mike. Your clock's ticking.
Getting up there. I'm 33.
Oh my God!
Wife's back in New
Goes
York,
by
getting
fast.
the whole Easter
It
thing
does.
together. I roll in all nice, really tired Sunday morning, and hopefully have a good Easter with my family.
Is Papa going to be home for Easter? We mustn't hunt until Papa arrives.
He must be a nightmare to his family.
By the way, his kids, I did the math, just as I listened to the Opie and Anthony. Maybe this sounds creepy to you, but I listened to the Opie and Anthony show. So I just know the timeline of when his kids were born. They're 15 and 13.
Okay.
They don't believe in the Easter bunny.
No.
What? And he mentions, I don't think we have the clip, but he mentions in this episode, he's like, yeah, we had to lay down the law because my daughter gave my wife a list of gifts she wanted for Easter. It's like, boy, how spoiled are these kids? They have an Easter wish list? What is this holiday to the Hughes family?
Next one's called Very, Very Interesting.
Does Opie have to show up? Like, is he coming home in like a big bunny outfit? Is that why? They're like, well, Dad's not here, but look who is.
I mean, from some of the stories he tells here, he sometimes leaves in a huff with his family. And so maybe the wife is just sick of having to pack up the kids every time he leaves in a huff. So she just doesn't go anywhere to his family stuff.
That's very strange. I can't imagine going solo when you're married with kids. I can't imagine going solo to a wedding like that. And the excuse, by the way, if the excuse is Easter, wouldn't it be like, oh, we have to spend Easter with the family?
Yes.
They're all in Georgia for this fucking wedding.
Yes.
Maybe
Has
I'm too
anyone
focused
ever
on it, but it's
seen
weird to me.
Opie's wife? Has she ever been seen?
Bam Margera has seen her, from what I've heard. But
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Very, very interesting. Is this next one?
Last year.
Right.
So we've got my bootleg video with soundboard audio. Masterpiece.
And Springsteen. Well, Springsteen released the actual
Yes.
show that you
He
recorded.
released the audio,
okay,
but
all right.
we used my video, and a guy I know out in Las Vegas married the two together.
And it's doing well online with the Springsteen fans.
Oh yeah.
Oh damn, man,
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking cool. All right, so the flight down to Georgia was very, very interesting. I was on a jet.
that's important. Very, very interesting. So buckle up. This is good. This is worth two varies. The story you're about to hear here. This is a man who has such little going on in his life that he advertises this as very, very interesting. Buckle up.
So the flight down to Georgia was very, very interesting. I was on a JetBlue flight, and
Already
about
interesting.
15
I gotta tell you,
minutes
when you say blue like that, I'm intrigued. That's not the regular way to say that. So already I'm like, boy, this seems like a wacky flight.
That is not the regular way to say that.
JetBlue. That's how you know a guy with a lot to say. When you have to emphasize the first words out of his mouth are begging for your attention.
I mean, the homo thing was a little too on the nose. So blue is a little,
Yeah, home of the homos. Is Atlanta notoriously gay? What did that even mean?
Not that I've heard, but maybe Opie has a different view of it.
We're approaching Atlanta. There's a guy either one seat behind me or two seats behind me, and he is he's having a medical situation, and I'm thinking the guy's
This was
literally
so
having a
interesting
heart-
that Opie didn't bother to remember the details. This is very, very interesting. The guy's either behind me or who knows where he is. By the way,
Guy.
when I'm on a flight, if there's a guy two seats behind me, I barely notice that guy. I can't really hear what he's doing. I'm just in my own world.
Mhm.
Am I crazy?
No, I barely notice the people next to me, Mike. When I'm
All right. All right, let's
Yeah,
see
we
what
all
this
have
guy did.
headphones on, and we don't
Yeah.
listen.
It's called
This is-
noise canceling, Mike.
I apologize for continuing to interrupt Opie because this is very, very interesting.
heart attack or a stroke. He was gurgling like, and I'm just waiting for whoever's with this person to start screaming, "Is there a doctor on board?" But it never got to that. And then finally, the flight attendant, who was a bitch, she wouldn't let me hang my
Jesus.
goddamn wedding suit. She goes, "Put it in the overhead like everybody else." Can you tell I don't
Hold
fly
on.
first
That's
class
not
anymore?
being a bitch. That's what they have to do, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
Take my bags, ma'am. It's not her job. You go with the stuff you could. You don't get to bring clothes from home and have them store it up in the fucking captain's lodge.
You wanted to hang it on the window.
So I guess that's a thing. I'm in the same position as Opie. I guess that's a thing that usually happens in first class. That they'll hang your suits for you or something.
Maybe. I've never seen it. I've never seen
We don't
anyone
know.
try it.
We're-
I've never seen anyone. do
We're
it.
not that type of people, and neither is Opie anymore. Apparently.
It's
Take
super
my
interesting.
bags, stewardess.
Anymore. Cheers to everybody. What? Oh,
Cheers.
a peanuts
Yeah.
mug. Nice. Finally, the flight attendant
This story
literally
is
10
so
minutes.
interesting. This is a very, very interesting story. It's so interesting that Opie was distracted by a Charlie Brown coffee cup. This story was so gripping that the sight of fucking Linus kicking the football distracted Opie.
He saw words. He had to read it. He's got some sort of tism. He's a tistic guy. He has to read the words he sees.
Peanuts
Yeah.
mug. Nice. Finally, the flight attendant literally 10 minutes up. She goes back there and she goes, "Do you need medical assistance?" And I'm thinking, well, if he did, it would be too late by now, right? And then it turns out he was.
He's not dead.
No, that's how it works. If you just cough once, you're dead, Mike. Call
I
the
guess it-
morgue.
I guess Opie's saying the guy puked or something.
Yeah.
This woman
he's
said,
about-
"Do you need medical assistance?" Well, this bitch had the nerve to walk up to a man throwing up and saying, "Do you need medical assistance?" I can't imagine what else she's supposed to say. All right, put him in a body bag. Let's toss him out the door.
This bitch saved his suit from being vomited on by putting it up. It would have been in the projectile would have gone all over his suit. He should thank her.
All right.
I can't imagine what Opie is like when he doesn't agree with how he's been treated by a civilian, like an airline flight attendant. I can't imagine the fucking nasty attitude he gave this poor lady.
Pretty sure he's the original Karen.
He is Karen.
He has some of those tendencies.
Yeah.
He did have a Karen haircut at one point. I've seen pictures.
And then it turns out he was power booting. That's him fucking puking.
Geez, that was foreshadowing in your day.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because now I'm cursing this guy. I'm like, yeah, oh my God, now we're all going to get sick. You're just power booting in the seat, two seats behind
Boy,
me.
you know what? Anthony used to say this, and obviously I wasn't there, so I didn't know about it. I thought it was something Opie talked about on air. Maybe it was off air. I've heard Anthony mention this. Opie was petrified of sick people. If he's ever around anyone sick, he always said, "Oh, you're gonna get me sick. Don't come in if you're sick." He was always freaked out about that. He thinks because there's someone 2 rows behind him, like he's gonna die now.
Mm-hmm.
He goes the part of the story we don't have is later in Opie's day, he power booted. It's like, but then he was fine after that. It didn't really make any sense.
He's a fucking 60-year-old frat kid.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting this. This is very, very interesting.
It is interesting.
With the noises I was hearing, I'm like, there's no way this isn't getting all over the place. There's not enough bags for the amount of crap that was coming out of this guy. So I was annoyed. I got off the plane, and my dear friend Buzzy, who I've known since I was 18, we've lived in shitholes together. We were fraternity brothers together. We were the only 2 serious speech comm majors at Geneseo. Everybody else took our major to get by college, but I was the radio guy. He was the TV guy. He comes rolling up in his SUV with fucking Buffalo Bills shit all over his car.
Now, let me take you back to the beginning of that story, because we're all different people after having heard it. That was advertised. He said, my flight to Georgia was very, very interesting. I gotta start the show with this. And then his story is a guy 2 rows behind me puked.
Mm-hmm.
That was the story.
That's it.
And then this bitch flight attendant asked him, "Are you okay?" Like a real cunt, like just a nasty woman.
I'd love to see his outline of his show.
Well, I got news for you. It doesn't exist.
Okay, it can't. Well, he has a lot to discuss, though, with no outline, Mike. That's the next one.
Okay, good. Because the flight was so interesting. I can't wait to hear what more insanity happens to Opie.
So here we are in Atlanta, Georgia, for my nephew's wedding. Only a day before Easter.
We didn't have ceramic cats to hug you, right? Meow, meow, meow,
Jesus.
meow, 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 meow.
Oh my God! Oh, the sun's coming up. That's
Buzzy.
nice.
Buzzy is almost as good a co-host as Ron the waiter.
Yes, these two need a
Buzzy
show.
really adds a lot. He's meowing in the background.
The Buzz and Ron Magic Hour. Come over to HACKRIDE Studios. I'll make it happen for you guys.
I like that.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful day here today.
It is absolutely gorgeous, and welcome to Good Friday. I guess that's a thing. I know the Black Crowes had an amazing song.
Opie is so uninteresting that he has to act like everything is interesting. He's like, I guess it's Good Friday. I guess that's a thing. Why is that a thing? He's like the word. Like if Andy Rooney had no filter. Like if Andy Rooney just everything was like, why? Why are there desks? There weren't always desks. Why?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Opie will just look at something and get angry about it. And I guess that's his version of humor. Like, why? Why is it Good Friday? I don't know, Opie. There's a religious meaning to it. I don't give a shit about it, and you don't have to either.
He is dementia Andy Rooney. He just walks around and points at things and says,
Why?
"They shouldn't exist."
Why are there sidewalks? What are we on the side of?
Well, that's actually kind of a good point if you really think about
Oh, it
the
isn't.
physics
It's on the
of.
side of the road.
But if the physics and the nature of the world, like we're just walking upside down on a planet.
True.
Anyway.
That's true. We're really in the thick of it if you think about it.
Called Good Friday. That's all I know about Good Friday.
It's really, really, really interesting stuff, Opie. Like hey, Buzzy has cats. We're in Atlanta. It's Good Friday. There's weather. Like if one of the first 3 things you list on your show is the weather, it's hot today here in Massachusetts. Why did it take me an hour and a half to mention that? Because I don't think it's something you need to give a shit about. Like, I don't know why Opie mentions the weather on every stream that he does.
Well, we're going to talk some brain surgery now, Mike. Brain surgery.
Okay, good. Well, this bastard nephew of his is a brain surgeon, and Opie has some thoughts on that.
But thank you, Paul, for the super sticker. We got Sue Fat giving us a little something. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got to pay for gas because this man really helped me out by
This guy was making millions of dollars a year. We're giving him gas money so he can stay on his buddy's couch.
His buddy's loaded too. Is this 2 rich guys
Yeah,
high-fiving
I
over
don't know.
$5 super chat?
I don't know what Buzzy does. I guess he lives in Deion Sanders. When Deion Sanders played for the Falcons, he lived in Buzzy's neighborhood.
Buzzy's not doing too. Someone's doing well.
Buzzy's doing all right.
Very well.
Yeah.
But that's been it so far. Now I'm just getting ready for the wedding with my nephew.
Yes.
I mean, I'm excited to be here, but the timing stinks, obviously. And my
Opie
nephew's
loves Easter. I've never heard a man this depressed that he's missing Easter. I don't get it.
literal brain surgeon. I won't say where he works because he doesn't want to be part of any of this shit. But he literally operates on.
Why
on
would you
brains.
say where he works? Why would that even come up?
Just
I won't
natural
say where he works. Oh, come on, Opie, please.
I have a natural tendency to dox, so I'm not going to dox this brain surgeon. Just
Man,
telling you right up front.
The sheer odds of this. I need brain surgery, and I was planning on going to Georgia for it. And Opie won't give me the name of this kid.
He basically killed you.
And he's the main guy now. He's the main guy, so he does all the
Main
intricate
guy.
stuff. I think his hands are even insured. Like it's no joke. And then he tells his people, "All right, you close up this guy.
You close up this brain.
Yeah, you close up
Well,
this
you
brain.
you have some real brain problems. We're gonna send you to our main guy. It seems Opie's obviously very well versed in what his nephew does.
Yeah, I don't want someone working on my brain that's like, oh, he's not as good to do other stuff, so just let him do that. Nope. I want everyone there to be good, please.
He's the main brain surgery guy.
Yeah, the main brain.
He does all the important stuff, and then the easy stuff he passes on to somebody else. So I don't know. I mean,
Easy brain
we
surgery
literally got a
stuff.
brain surgeon in our
Easy
family
stuff.
and a shock jock.
This is one of the easier brains. Could you please get on this, please? Could I get
this
a
one's-
nurse to work on this simple brain?
This one's a podcaster. The brain's all wet. This will only take 5 seconds.
This isn't the high level of brain surgery. This is one of those easy brains. Yeah,
get one
Opie,
of
that's
those-
what you're saying. He delegates responsibility. That's what people do when they get to a certain level. It's not that unusual. He's like, he's such a good brain surgeon. He has people clean his scalpel for him. Yeah, no shit.
Because of DEI, they have special surgeons. They're like Special Olympics. They bring in and they they close
Yeah.
you up.
Yeah.
This one's called New Band.
Oh, this is exciting. This is why
Yes.
I watch Opie, because he has,
They're in touch.
you know, Opie was spinning records back in the day, and he knows music, this guy. So this is exciting when you get a recommendation on a hot new band to check out.
Read my super chat. I don't know where your super chat is. Waiver. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the waiver. Read my super chat.
Can I
I
tell
don't
you
know.
this? I don't mean to get in the way of Opie here. Can I tell you what's so funny? Is the way you would say that name is just Waver. But the way Opie's saying it is Waver. Almost like he's got a southern accent or something. It is hysterical when Opie puts that little twist on what seems like a simple name. But Opie, he does these characters. They're very fun.
It's complex comedy, Mike.
It really
layered.
is. Because you might think, is there a reason he's doing a southern accent? No, there isn't actually. It's because he's void of anything else.
This is Kaufman-esque, really.
Yeah, yeah.
What we're looking
I don't know where you are, Waver. Oh, here's Waver. Okay. Isotope's big in Rochester. How you not know that?
Because we haven't lived
Okay.
in Rochester in 30 years.
Wait, the Isotopes were big in Rochester? Are they big now, though, Waver?
Bigger than
It's a
ever.
band-
Opie.
Yep.
God damn.
That everyone's saying I got to check out.
Right.
So we'll have maybe we'll check it out after the live
You know
stream.
what?
Can I tell you what would be amazing?
Mhm.
Is if Opie he doesn't look into who the band is or anything. Or just maybe doesn't know Carl's last name. I don't know. But he becomes an expert on the Isotopes, and it turns out to be the one thing he's like amazing at. Like Opie's never found his niche, the thing he's really great at talking about. What if Opie finds the Isotopes and it just unleashes this? He's doing breakdowns of the Isotopes. He makes a documentary that like Netflix picks up. It gets really popular. Like Opie's thing is covering the Isotopes, and he's just amazing at it.
You know, that's funny is the probability of that happening is still more than Carl moving right next to Stuttering John. That I will never understand. How the fuck did that happen?
It's really bizarre.
Yeah. This, so now we're going to learn a little more about Buzzy.
Oh, good. I've been interested in Buzzy. He's a mysterious character. I want to hear more about him.
Every year.
So me and Jeff, aka Buzzy, we met in college. I was hanging out with some fucking nerds, to be honest with you. I lived in Onondaga dorm. And my
Opie, are
friend
you
brought-
okay?
He knows his dorm name.
You
Ah.
you lived to tell the tale? You were hanging out with fucking nerds and you made it out alive? Good for you, man. I hope you bashed those nerds.
I can't think of my dorm name, Mike. I'm racking my brain. I
know
cannot.
mine.
He
I
knows
don't
his.
I don't
I
remember
don't-
mine either. Don't
I
worry.
don't think that's that weird. I think you're focusing on the wrong part.
Okay.
brought me over to the other side of campus. Where were you? Allegheny Hall for the locals. And I was in the dining room or whatever you
Locals.
fucking.
All right, now I'm on your side. Why would the locals know?
It's very confusing. I don't know. Why,
I didn't know when I was growing up. I didn't know the dorm names of Springfield College.
for the locals.
Locals.
There's the ones that get the trading card packs with all the dorm names in them that you trade with your friends.
That's
Trading
unusual. All right, you got me. That was unusual.
You got the mess hall, the fucking what was it called back then?
The dining hall.
The dining hall, I
dining hall.
guess. And also I'm with my
All right.
boring
Who could give a
friend.
shit, by the way?
And these
What
two
about a really unique name? Who gives a shit?
This is making that vomit story look like gold at this point.
What was the mess hall called? It was called the dining hall. Oh,
Dining.
good. I'm glad we clarified.
lunatics come marching in with giant white man afros, fucking just energy for days.
That's
And that was
crazy. Oh my God. Did your brain spill out of your ears? Two guys walked in with afros in 1981? That's fucking nuts.
What are the odds?
Jeff and my other friend Fred, who we went to his wedding right around Christmas, and we've been friends ever since. I was like, I want to hang out with people like that, not you. You gotta leave.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Yes.
And then we ended up.
Let me see if I've got this
Fucking.
story. Let me see if I've got this story correct. Opie made friends in college, and one day he went to lunch with them, and he saw two guys with afros and energy. And Opie said, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. You're nerds. Hey, you afro boys, can I be friends with you, please? The story
I
doesn't
think
make any
that's it.
sense.
I think that's it.
That's a story like in a rom-com where it's like I saw them from across the room. And I knew I had to have them.
Mm-hmm. That was my tribe. I saw my tribe.
It's not how men make friends. Like,
No,
I saw these guys; they were magnetic.
it's not how humans make friends, Mike.
I had to make them mine. And then what happened to this poor bastard that was eating lunch, that was suffering through a lunch with Opie, which sounds just exhausting.
Opie and his new friend put him in a locker.
This poor guy who was clearly doing the heavy lifting on the conversation.
Yeah.
Opie gets up and he's, I'm not friends with you anymore, nerd. Okay.
We're up to a familiar relationship.
Oh, yeah, this is the one you questioned me on because it was very short, right?
It's very short. Yes.
This is just, I wanted to hear a sentence, and you guys as Opie and Anthony fans, tell me if it sounds familiar to any other relationships that Opie might have.
fucking weather.
So Who bought the kerosene heater?
You did everything. I just rolled in.
What does that sound? Play that for Anthony Cumia, please, someone. I want to know if that sounded like anything Opie's done in his past, where he's explaining his relationship with this guy Buzzy, and he's like, "You were the one who always made sure rent was paid, and I was the cool guy. I just didn't care." And it's like Opie. That's what Opie was on the Opie and Anthony show. Like he would roll in. The producers would prepare topics. He didn't prepare, because he has this revisionist history of like, I was working 90-hour weeks for the Opie and Anthony show. It's like, no, that's always been his attitude. It's like, I just showed up and let the talented guy do the work.
Yeah, let the rich guys pay my bills here.
Mhm.
Isotopes history. We get some more isotopes.
Oh, we got more. Opie's hook, line, and sinker for the isotope. He's going to be an Isotopes fan by the end of the day. He probably already is. On the flight home, he was probably already. He didn't hear the guy puking behind him because he was just jamming out to some topes.
We're all a fan of the Topes, especially the Topes dancers. And some pretty ladies.
All right.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
Whoa. Time out. I just saw the same thing.
All right. So, Michigan Mark, you have no idea. You're looking at one of the biggest Stevie Ray Vaughan fans as well. So Stevie Ray Vaughan was taught by the Isotopes guitarist. We have to check that out.
He's a historian on Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, this guy loves Stevie Ray Vaughan. He doesn't know that Carl Heberger didn't instruct Stevie Ray Vaughan.
There's like 2 guitar players on the planet that could be an influence of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he's just
By
going.
the way, Buzzy is from Rochester. As a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, you don't think he ever would have heard like, oh yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan's mentor lives down the street and has a band called the Isotopes.
It's wood paneling.
But we've got the Opster's interest. I think we could get him into the ice. Oh, Opie, check out the Buzzmeyers. They actually have lyrics in their song.
They have a singer. Yeah.
Check them out.
Worship the ground SRV walked on. Rest in peace.
When I was in Austin, I walked by the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue and I took a picture to send to this man.
Stevie really be a fan. Now you've proven to me his fandom.
His brain really just picks like, what is the lowest fruit? Oh, here it is. Do that one.
I walked by a sign once. That's how I know this guy's a fan.
I seen him on TV once. I can't do Opie. But I've seen him on TV
I can't
once.
either, really. I just do a version of him.
I like yours. Craig does a good Opie.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, when we were living together, would be cranking through our rental. Couldn't stand the weather, just cranking. Oh, that's good to know, Michigan. That's good to know.
It is good to know.
It's good to know.
Do some more research into that, Opie. I think you like the Topes.
Yeah, we all love Topes. Last
that
one here, Mike.
That would be great if he just comes on. He's like, oh man, the band you guys recommended to me, they are awesome.
Carl, take down all the pictures of your band right now. Fool him. Most popular is the last one here.
This was okay. I think this sums up how Opie thinks about the world so well. And it's like when he talks about people in his family having mental problems, like his mom had, I think at least according to him, like real severe mental illness and narcissism and that sort of stuff. And you start to wonder, like, is it them or is it him? Particularly based on this story.
So she would always make me leave parties because she had some weird jealousy because I had the fame and stuff, but I downplayed it in my regular life with family and friends. You know that. I downplayed as much as I could, but it couldn't be helped. People knew what I did, and it was working pretty well.
He was so famous. It just couldn't be stopped.
Star shines too bright. It's blinding.
It really does. You just can't. Oh my God! Can't I just get through a meal? I'm a person.
They asked me to turn water to wine. I just like, guys, I need to eat.
Not right now. It's
and
Easter.
Yeah. I'll walk on water later.
Another party I went to, I had a plate of food, had barbecue, chicken, I had potato salad, everything. I had a perfect plate. You know when you have that perfect
I'm sure this
plate?
has been pointed out before. I assume Anthony's probably broken stuff like this down. But it was glaring to me in this particular video of his. Opie is, I guess it's a talent. It was probably more of a talent when he had other people around him. but like Opie is, I can't in earnestness say he's good at it, but like he really tries to make something out of nothing. He tries to make a meal out of every word, where it's like there's nothing there, but he's like, what a plate I had. There were ribs, there was chicken on this plate, and I mean like good chicken. Oh, the kind of chicken you really want to have for a meal. And it's like, well, you're saying that you had chicken for dinner. Who gives a shit?
Yes.
Why are you telling it to me this way?
Yes, he has a gift of making the mundane sound truly mundane.
Yes, but it's this. He's creating sort of pomp and circumstance. It's this
Yes.
dressing up of his stories that he does, because there's no substance. He can zhuzh it up a bit by peppering in some pointless details.
Yeah, he's a snake oil salesman. He's hyping you up for the
Yeah.
timeshare that you're about to split with a bunch of your friends.
Right.
Played at a barbecue, and she once again. My dad is sitting there at the end of his life. Basically, he only has a couple more years left at this
Okay.
point.
I want to point
And he
something out. You don't realize probably what a strange way that is to phrase that. Tell me what you would guess, Casey. You probably don't know how Opie's father passed away, right?
No, I did not.
By hearing that sentence, my dad was in the last few years of his life. What do you think he was suffering with that he died of?
I mean, like, obviously, my dad died of cancer, so I always think cancer first, or, you know.
Right,
so-
like you might say about your dad, like, and he was in the last few years of his life when he was dealing with that. Opie's dad died in a car crash.
What? What? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Why would you frame it like that?
He died in a car accident. Why would you? Obviously, I'm not laughing at that. That's very sad. But you wouldn't say the last few years of his life. He died in a car. It's not like, well, son, you're probably not going to see in a few months. I'm going to get into a car accident. You're probably not going to see me much after that. So get it all into anything you need to say to me now.
The brakes on this Toyota, man, they're slipping. I don't got much longer left here.
Like, he's painting a picture of a man who's like sickly and like getting ready to die. He's like Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, where he's getting a haircut. You know, he wants to die. He wants to do it upright and die with honor.
What an interesting way to phrase that.
It stood out to me as so strange. That
It's like,
yeah, my dad's in the last few years of his life.
it was like the car he died in was sick. They're mourning the car first.
This is a
that's
good
hilarious.
barbecue. Probably not going to get too many more of these. You know, when I eventually die in a car accident. Like Opie's saying it because he wants you to think. This is what I'm talking about, where he zhuzhes up these stories. He wants us to be like, oh man, his dad couldn't just enjoy his final barbecue. Like he knows he has limited time left. He just wanted to have those ribs in peace. No, in a couple of years, he will unknowingly die in a car accident. It had no impact on this barbecue.
I got to hear him say it again.
Once again, my dad is sitting there at the end of his life. Basically, he only has a couple more years left at
At
this
the end
point.
of his life. That's such a bizarre way of phrasing that.
It's like if you had a video with your dad at like 2000, you're like, yeah, this is the last year of his life, 9/11.
He's getting ready. You know, this is him right before. Look at the look on his face. He knew the plane he was about to get on.
God, this reminds me of the Stern Show. Was it Bobo? I can't remember. Someone said their family member died on 9/11, but it was 9/12, and it was totally a different. They died in a different part of town, a totally different reason. But Bobo always said he died on 9/11.
It's giving importance to the story that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, he's making this like a real dramatic. Like, can you believe the story he's about to tell is about his aunt? And
Yes.
you hear him say again, like he told a previous story about how his aunt like made something about her. That's unusual for the Hughes family. But like what Opie is trying to pull out of you as a storyteller is like, I can't believe the aunt behaved like this in Fred Hughes's final days. As if she would have any way of knowing what was about to happen to him. In a few years, by the way.
Yeah, it was his last few years. Basically his last few years. And that makes you think, like, up until the last day, he was miserable with sickness. He had a great life up until that last
I was glad you were the one to hear this story, because I knew, to anyone else that doesn't know the story, that would sound like a man suffering from leukemia.
Yeah.
or in the throes of dementia or something, like just in his final days.
God damn, man. That's funny.
Once again, my dad is sitting there at the end of his life, basically. He only has a couple more years left at this point. And he was really happy when I would come around because I was really busy.
Son! Son, is that you? Oh, I'm too weak to give you a hug. What with me about to get into a car accident.
In many years.
Oh, son, I wish I could wrap my arms around you the way I did as a boy, but I'm too weak. For in a few years, I will sustain a fatal blow from an oncoming vehicle.
What a rewrite. God damn. Holy shit.
He only has a couple more years left at this point. And he was really happy when I would come around because I was really busy. So when I came around, it just filled his heart with love.
Gregory, Gregory, please. I'm so weak from the car accident I will one day be in. Let me see your face just once more, please, Gregory.
Liked having me around. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go. I had my perfect plate of barbecue.
Oh, and this is a good... We got to get back into this. Listen, my dad, he's basically sevened out at this point. He's got a foot in the grave. But this plate of barbecue was immaculate. Oh, this is something you dream of. You know, in the commercials where you're like, the burger doesn't really look like that. My God, it did on this plate.
And she goes, come here. She goes, with all the money you make, you'd think you'd get a haircut.
Oh my God.
Because I was literally growing my hair because it was the thing to do and it looked all right. I didn't have to have a real job, right? I don't even say anything to her. I take my plate like this. There's a garbage pail right next to her. I go, I dunked my perfect plate of barbecue in the garbage because she said in front of everybody. My dad.
Whoa. Let me get this straight. This is the most succulent plate of barbecue you've ever seen in your life. You've never laid eyes on a plate of barbecue like this. It's immaculate. It's perfect. The aunt comes up and makes a seemingly innocuous comment about his hair. You know how many people have said, like family members have said things like that to me? Like if you're growing out your hair, they make a comment about it. Oh, hair's getting a little, you could use a haircut. That is such an innocent who gives. Now listen, I don't know this lady. Maybe she just had a nasty way of saying it, you know? Maybe it was just a real bitch way. She was like, you can afford a haircut. So I'm not taking that off the table. It's certainly possible. Opie's response to this is throwing away his own food. Why?
He's a selfish brat.
But it's not even. This is a story, by the way, about how the aunt made it about her.
Right.
She goes, "Hey, you can. Oh, geez, all that money. You think you can afford a haircut? You're really getting. You got some extra lettuce up there. You got a real mop working." He throws his food away. By the way, that someone else made him. Someone's sweating over that goddamn barbecue, slaving away on the ribs and the chicken that he's preparing to mow down, and he just throws a perfectly good plate of food away.
Right.
Because his hair was too long? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, the aunt had a point. Like, it's very disrespectful to have long hair in front of someone who may die in a few years in a car accident.
That's true. We're here in your father's final days. You couldn't clean yourself up?
Yes.
Your father's...
Look respectful. He only has 1,000 days left. Get your shit together.
I can't believe you would behave this way when your father is perfectly healthy at this current time, and we have no way of knowing the future.
And you threw the good food away. Your father is going to be dead soon. That's disrespectful.
We don't know that, but it will happen.
None of us know that. Up until the day of, and we didn't even know then.
It was stunning when we got the news that he died, completely unexpectedly.
Yeah. Thank God we had prepared for it for years.
But that what a story. What a guy with a complete lack of self-awareness where he's like, "Can you believe this? My aunt made a fairly innocent comment about my hair, so I throw my food away."
He's a
Why?
12-year-old, man.
And then he left, by the way. He stormed out. Probably the last chance he ever got to see his father.
It'd be funny if he was backing out all mad and he ran over his dad, and the irony, he actually killed his own father.
In his
I was
final
just-
days.
Sitting there like, oh God, this. Oh my God! I go, Dad, I'm out, and I had to leave that party too.
Gregory, wait. I'm too weak to chase after you. Please, Greg.
We must discuss the will. The
There was some weird jealousy with my aunt.
Oh, hold on. I forgot we haven't even gotten to what we're about to hear, I originally thought was the best part of the clip. I'm now realizing it's clearly that he said, my dad is withering away, preparing for his car accident. But I forgot we didn't even get to what I titled the clip for.
will. The dad hasn't even bought the car that he will die in yet. He's
make
2 cars
sure-
away.
Make sure to honor my name, Greg.
Jealousy. with this.
to think of me as I die in a car accident in a few years. Remember me as I was.
Multiple years before I was killed in that. Remember me not decapitated.
Oh, this car accident has just riddled me. It hasn't happened yet, but it's made me so weak.
The irony is, if you've seen that movie, Arrival, the sci-fi movie, that would be our life because we'd see our future. So imagine knowing you were going to die in a car wreck, and you're just like,
Well, evidently,
Dad's
Opie's dad did.
yeah, this is a rival plot.
And I had to leave that party too. There was some weird jealousy with my aunt, because I think every family has the one person that wants to be the most popular in the family. Do you have that sort of in your
most popular?
No.
like when you get together with a huge
I would
group
say
of
the
people?
attention gravitates towards those that are more outgoing, right?
That's
If you're
weird.
shy
Buzzy's an
and-
adult. You know how Aunt Judy wants to be the most popular. Most popular. By the way, that's not how family works. Popular means like, well known.
Yeah.
There's no one in the family. You never was like, who's the nerd over there? Who about him?
I threw Uncle Jim in the locker. He's just a dork.
Cousin Ralph was invited to this one. Why? He doesn't fit in with the popular kids.
Don't even tell me those are in-laws. They don't even count.
By the way, we're kind of glossing over the fact that Opie said, I had to leave.
Again,
I
I had to leave
forced
again.
to leave again, another party where she forced me to leave. So she goes, hey, your hair is getting a little long. And he leaves.
Yes. I love this
And-
aunt, by the way.
And his dad is thinking, much like I will soon leave this planet.
In your
most popular?
like when you get together with a huge
I would
group
say
of
the
people.
attention gravitates towards those that are more outgoing, right? If you're shy and discerning, you're probably not
Weird.
going to get as much as somebody who's lives life.
That is such a great point, Mike. Who the fuck tries to be popular in their family?
Right.
Don't you try
That's what I
to
mean.
be not noticed and just leave me alone? Who wants to be popular?
Opie has this weird way of keeping score, and it's so revealing. And Buzzy's kind of like, Buzzy seems like a very nice guy. Buzzy's a good friend. He had stuff prepared for Opie. Went and got him from the airport. Seems like he's a complete dork, but he seems like a good dude. And Opie's just like, what do you mean? You don't strive to be the most popular one in your family?
In your
Most popular. They do what are those called in high school? The superlatives. They do like best looking, most likely to succeed.
Maybe if I get popular enough, I'll get some groupies in this family of mine. I mean, what's the end game here? You got a hot cousin?
No, come on! I want to sit next to Grandma. She's the most popular.
Buzzy does sort of hit reality there because he goes popular. He just sits there for a moment and thinks
He's
about it.
and he's like, I think if you're shy and closed off, you're not noticed as much. And Opie, for the first time in 62 years of life, or whatever the fuck is, he's like, oh, geez, maybe that's why I'm not most popular in my family.
People in your
Hilarious.
family. Do you have that sort of in your
Ooh, most popular?
like when you get together with
Like,
like a
what?
huge
I would
group
say
of
the
people?
attention gravitates towards those that are more outgoing, right? If you're shy and discerning, you're probably not going to get as much as somebody who's lives life fully.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
Right?
Opie reluctantly,
I guess.
I guess.
Opie's about to throw his steak in the trash and run away.
I'm out of here, Buzzy. Why are you embarrassing me like that?
You're just like Aunt Linda.
And here's the thing, and it's what I always say about people like Opie, where it's like, it's very possible that the aunt was being a bitch, but we're hearing one side of the story, and somehow you're still sympathizing with the aunt. Where you're like, maybe there was a little stank on the comment. Maybe she gave a little attitude when she's like, "What? You don't have enough money for a haircut?" Like maybe she meant it viciously. It doesn't seem that way, but maybe she did. But like, to be the one where you're like, I'm throwing out my meal. I'm walking on this benefit we're having for my father.
It's almost
Raising
like
money. We're raising money to prevent car accidents, and I don't even care. I'm leaving.
Opie's acting like his dad's gonna die by a haircut. He's like, "How dare you say that
in
this
front of
house?"
him? In front of this sick man?
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen Opie say. Congratulations.
It's okay, Greg, as long as everyone's happy and healthy.
And make sure to buckle up.
Please, safety first. You don't realize how important that is until it's too late.
In my will, I have willed you all Volvos for your safety.
There's a man named Elon Musk who's trying to cure this disease. God bless him.
Fucking hey, man. I'm gonna be laughing at that all day. All right, Mike, we got a few super chats here, and then we'll get people out of here to go enjoy
All
their
right,
Sunday.
sounds good. Yeah, we're not that much early. Right?
No, we banger 2 hours.
Man, you still got a 2-hour show.
Yeah. Electra,
All
you ready?
right. Cool cut casting. Please do your best Opie impressions, all of yous.
You heard him.
Why? Why would you want that?
Dad, make sure you buckle up. I'm very bad at it. Electra.
Jet blue.
That's actually pretty
Yes,
good.
that was very good. All right. Rumble Trench Coat. Here we go.
I think we're one major family event away from finding out Opie's wife and kids have been taxidermied just off camera.
It is weird to me. I was very fixated on that at the beginning of this, and I've lost my way after hearing how poor Fred Hughes suffered in his final years. But it's so odd to me that Opie went solo to this wedding because it was Easter. That's very weird.
Everyone cries in that family when there's that open door sound, that bing, bing. It's just a reminder of what's to come.
The wife and kids are partying. Opie walked. Oh, fun's over.
A few more here.
Saucepan. Never thought I'd hear an Olympic diving analogy.
Well, that's what you get.
No,
there.
that's what
What
you
you
get.
get.
Culture. We're culture.
Yes.
The stoners got to do.
And Timothy McDonough. Why did Opie think the guy was having a heart attack? Pretty sure choking or gargling are not a symptom. No,
The
not
airport
really.
guy.
Oh, that's a
the
good
airplane.
point. Blah! Oh, is this a heart attack? That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.